Hello. So we're getting old school. We're gonna cook. It's not exactly scalloped potatoes though, because I didn't want to go to the store and get pepper, and I'm just staying at home because I don't feel like going anywhere until tomorrow. So we're going to bake. Make sure. I think I heard it pop up. Start. I think I feel heat coming. I just want to make sure it's actually working. I was gonna have it at 350. I guess it's starting to work. Okay. Alrighty then. So we're gonna make like a modified version of scalloped potatoes because I didn't really want to go to the store and get pepper. And I have a little bit of everything, but I don't think I'm putting tahini in it. I'm just gonna this is gonna be my own version. I'm gonna use hot sauce instead of I have some of these packets left over from Panda Express and some Del Taco hot sauce, and I have more pepper if I want it. So I'd rather have it spicy than have it, not spicy. And let's see, is there pepper in here? There's spices, but not pepper. So anyhow, the first step is that I poured oil in the bottom of my little glass dish. Make sure everything out of the way. Get my knife. And tell a kind of funny story about Rumble. Because look, I'm not on Rumble for political reasons. I guess a lot of people are on Rumble because they're conservative or something. I guess that's their whole thought, because we're conservatives, we are on Rumble. And I'm like, great. I'm so happy for you dudes. You do you. You do your wonderful conservative whatever. I'm not even into oh my god, liberals. I just feel like American politics is just so I've said it before. American politics is just so insular. All Americans do is talk about our politics. But there is something weird going on, and I know liberals do it, but so do conservatives, and I just hate it when both do it, okay? I hate it when both get so rude, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of there are some these incel guys, and look, I don't even care if you're an incel, these men that hate women, red pill dude. I don't know, I hate women, but look, there's some people that they hate people so much, and that's so. When you start getting into hate territory, I'm not gonna deal with it because this is the problem. Rumble won't let you delete a comment in a regular kind of way. So I go to try and delete the comment, and it just says deleted. I don't know. It was just a backup to this YouTube. It's funny because this video is gonna be on Rumble, and I wonder if any of those trolls will see it. I don't really care. So they probably would hate that I'm vegan too. Oh my god. I'm just so sick of the politics. It's conservative and liberal, but only American politics matter. Other countries' politics don't matter. Only America. Even liberals do that, okay? And I get tired of it, and it gets really boring super quick. I don't care about your political affiliation. But when you start saying hateful things, I do have a problem. And this is where I think something's hateful. Look, if you want to live a very traditional lifestyle where you think only women or men should wear certain attire, that's fine. I don't really care. But guess what? Throughout the history of the world, there have been people that might have been born one thing and then they become another. And it's none of your business. And I got this really nasty comment from some guy that said, I don't think she's a woman because of the New Hampshire Miss America pageant. I just don't know. And yeah, so I didn't even know what this was about because honestly, I could care less about the Miss America pageant. I don't follow it. But here's these people that are so obsessed with their version of American politics, and they're like forcing you to like figure out like what do they mean. And I would have just deleted the comment, but for some reason Rumble doesn't let us delete the comment. But I'm gonna address it instead, because I thought for a second like I could just delete it, but this time I feel like addressing it. I feel like there's something wrong with people that care about what anybody's wearing. Okay, if you want to be some part of some like really strict religion where everybody has to do certain things, whatever. That's your grape chili jam. But when you start forcing or foisting your views on people in the public, like thinking it's okay, like, okay, there is this one commentator, and I saw this on YouTube, and yes, this did bother me. I think it was Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I want to call Jordan Peterson to task for this. He felt like it was okay for him to go tell somebody that was transgender that they were not like whatever gender that they identified with. And I don't think that's okay, because if you're pro civil liberties, you don't really care what people do with their lives. You wouldn't care like if you were pro civil liberties. And I don't like disrespect of any kind, and I don't care like what gender ethnicity people are. I just don't care. Like I don't have time for that in my daily life. Like if you spend all of your time like worried about like if a man becomes a woman or is non-binary and if they're wearing a dress, I think that's a hate comment. I'm sorry. And you came to my channel, and I don't want to, like, first off, I'm trying to look into other issues besides just American politics, but it's like liberals and conservatives are so into this stuff that they're trying to force us to always talk about American politics or something that they don't like or some narrow viewpoint that they have. And I don't want to be part of it. I really don't. I just think it's wrong, you know, that they're kind of foisting this on us. We didn't ask for this, you know. We just want to have like a cooking channel or an art channel. And sometimes I do talk about politics, but I don't want to be part of your like political diatribe. And I get it. Like we could just delete it. But the problem is Rumble doesn't really let you delete it because it still says the person's name and delete it. So I decided to address the comment instead. And I usually don't. Usually if it's hateful and stupid, I just delete it because I'm like, whatever. But I decided I kind of needed to address it. It's something that's been bothering me for a long time because there have always been non-binary people. And I didn't know people didn't know this. Like, I thought people knew that. Like, I know people like, oh, this is a brand new thing. It just, like, no, like, in Tahitian culture, like, there were non-binary people. And even in Iran, there are non-binary people. But this is the interesting thing. Like they actually did a documentary about some people that got a sex change, and Iran's been in the news lately for like they want to like hang people that don't conform to certain gender norms. And this is where I don't think that, like, I think like really conservative like Christians that take Christianity to that extreme of thinking it's okay to post hate comments on people's videos are the same as those people in Iran that want to drag women through the street by their hair and try and take them to Evan prison to be killed. Like, you might not be perpetuating that sort of violence, but you're perpetuating hate violence and hate speech in your comments, and that's not okay with me, okay? And then you're forcing people who don't want to be part of your dialogue. Like, you think it's okay. So I don't, and I'm not going to go that much more into it. I just think that there's something wrong with that. And I think there's something wrong with you as a person if you, like, are posting things like that on social media thinking, oh, yeah, it's cool to, like, post these kind of comments. And no, it's not cool, buddies. Maybe somebody told you somewhere, like, I don't know, in some sort of, like, I don't even care. If somebody wants to identify as an incel, I don't care. I really have never cared. But when I do start to care is, like, when you think that you have the right to go tell somebody because they're not, like, the certain gender that you think that they're supposed to be, that the gender that they're supposed... No, I don't agree with that. And I've never agreed with that. And I don't like it. I don't like any kind of phobia or any kind of hate speech of any kind. I'm not an Elon Musk fanboy, okay? Like, I know, like, some people are like, oh, Elon Musk is they just, no. And I'm not, and I know liberal people can do it too, because I've heard liberal people say some pretty disgusting things to people. I'm not saying that only conservatives do it, but this time around, what I saw was kind of that insult commentary. And yeah, it's not cool. It's not like, honestly, would you say that to somebody's face? Like, and it's weird. And the thing is, nobody wants to be part of it. Like, we're not asking to be part of your political whatever that you think that we want to be part of. Like, it's like you're kind of foisting your viewpoints on other people. And nobody wants to do that. Like, nobody wants to be part of that. Like, don't do it to us. Like, we didn't ask. I'm just making, like, kind of like a... It's going to be sort of similar to a potato type au gratin thing, but not exactly, because I don't have all the ingredients you would need. So, not au gratin, but scalloped potatoes. So I was trying to make the vegan one. I didn't have pepper, so I'm using this. I think this might have... Does this have pepper in it? No. But anyhow, I'm like, man, in the year 2022, like, when did you decide it was a good idea, a bright idea to, like, yeah, no. Like, I don't care what you do with your life, but honestly, sometimes you just look pathetic. You guys look pathetic. Like, and another thing too is regular people just don't want to be part of your commentary. We don't want to do this. Like, just don't force us to, like, be... It's kind of like when somebody starts having, like, some sort of weird political speech in a public space, and they're, like, making everybody be a captive audience because, like, like, kind of like the guy... Okay, let me give you an example. Like, there was this guy a few years ago, like, he thought he just needed to go make hateful comments about gay people. Like, he needed to do that. Like, he really, really needed to do that. That was so important to him in, like, a public space. And it was really awkward because regular people, like, people that are just regular living their day-to-day lives, we don't really want to hear stuff like that. It's not okay. Like, it's just not okay. Like, and I don't care what you do and what your religion is, but just don't include me in it. So that's the last thing I have to say about that. I'm not getting involved in people's weird, whatever, their Elon Musky fanboy club, or, I mean, is Elon Musk, like, kind of like an incel? I mean, I don't even care if people want to self-identify as incels, but don't go to people's videos. Like, honestly, like, here's the problem. This is where you're the problem. This is where you become the problem. Like, you want to live some very narrow definition of what you think masculinity is, then you can do that. Nobody's keeping that from you. I don't care if you want to do that and you have a page where you're like, I'm a masculine man and I only date... I'm like 45 years old, but I can only date a 19-year-old girl because my masculinity says it so. And even though I look like an old doughboy, like, I need this young woman. I don't care. If that's your life and you want to live it and you have some big YouTube channel about it and you have all these people that buy your ebook, whatever, good. Kudos to you. But here's the problem. It's like, when regular people just have a YouTube channel about cooking or, I don't know, fashion, and you're, like, coming and spreading your hate speech on it. So I don't want to give these trolls too much of a platform. But yeah, it's weird. And most regular people think you're weird. And that's why, like, even if Elon Musk or Jordan Peterson might have had one or two good ideas, I don't like any of their ideas on, like honestly, like, gender, or just, no, I'm not a fan of it. Like, because honestly, like, no, I'm just not a fan. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna... maybe I've lived in California too long, but we just like, I don't know, in California, that kind of stuff just doesn't fly. But I think in most societies, that stuff does not fly. And also, too, did you know in conservative places, like porn is the most highly searched, like really weird, crazy stuff, like crazy porn? It's the most highly searched stuff on the internet. So these people are all hypocrites. And the ones I think that obsess the most about men who become women or non-binary and they're like so appalled by it, I think secretly deep down they're that way themselves, and it really turns out to be that way a lot. That it's conservative men that obsess about these topics. They often are, but because they belong to some weird cultish form of a religion, they're afraid to like say it. But anyway, I don't want everything to be political or hateful. Sometimes, like, and then it's unfair to people who don't even want to talk about politics when you do that, because they don't want to be exposed to your hate. So, like, if you really need to be that hateful, or you just hate yourself, and it manifests itself, and that you write hate speeches, or you feel like saying something hateful to others, then we're not fans. Like, we're just not fans. I know some people are probably like, but how can you not be fans of our lovely commentary, and that we're such great guys? And oh yeah, we don't think you're great guys though. That's the thing. You probably think, I'm sure these guys think in their minds, oh my God, we are the creme de la creme. No, because even Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk, like, I don't care what they do in their daily life, but I wouldn't want to be married to them, honestly. And I wouldn't want to be friends with them. And yeah, they say some problematic things. Like, there's a couple really problematic things that they've said. And and it kind of feeds that insult. Like, look, I don't care if you want to be an insult. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. But it's like that insult energy. And then it's funny because they'll always be like these older men that have to go for younger women. They kind of hate on attractive older women that do the same thing with younger men. But the cougars and the incel guys that can only have the younger women, they're kind of the same. Like, they have the same mentality. And I've talked about that before, but it's just like, and also too, like, politically, they're not different than those men in Iran, like the mullahs that are trying to drag the female protester, like this woman that was wearing red. Amazing. She's protesting, and like these women and men in the security forces were trying to drag her away, and no, the fellow Iranians intervened. So like, sometimes, even if it's not really my thing, like if somebody starts saying something hateful in public again, I might just be like, can you not say that here? Because like, a lot of people will always feel awkward. They'll feel like, oh my God, like I can't say anything if somebody's having like some awkward commentary like in public. But I think we kind of can say something, because we don't need to be subjected to that, you know? Maybe we don't want to hear it. Like, they never think about that, but they don't really care either, because hey, it can only be what they want, you know? But I don't exactly think that, like, the insult dudes, are they making a lot of friends like that? Like, are they living the dream? They're not living the dream. Like that's the thing at the end of the day. I don't care if you want to be an insult, but I don't think you're living the dream. I don't care if you want to be a mullah. I don't think you're living the dream either. No. But insults and mullahs kind of have something in common. They really do. Yeah, they kind of do. But it would go over their head if you told them that. They wouldn't get it. Okay. Yeah, if you told them that, they'd be like, what do you mean? What do you mean of me? I'm just going off on a rant here. And in the future, like, just don't post weird things to people's videos. And usually I don't address this stuff, but I just think The only reason I'm addressing it is I believe it's a manifestation of an insecurity that people have within themselves. Anytime somebody says something that's kind of hateful or just mean, it's a manifestation of how they feel about themselves. And I know they're going to say, oh, no, it's not. But, oh, yes, it is. And, oh, no, nobody wants to hear it. And, oh, no, you're not. Like, I mean, it's not exactly like they, no. Anyhow, we're done. We're done talking about them. They're not interesting, you know? No, stay up there. Right there. Be a good week. Okay. Layer you some more layers. Push down, push down, push down. Push it all down. Layer upon layer, layer, layer. Okay. So, I need some more hot sauce layers. That's one hot sauce. Open up. It doesn't want to open because it's just too wet. Okay. Clean this up. Get it nice and cleany weeny. Does it feel nice and warm? I'm glad it's feeling warm. So that was my fun experience with the using Rumble as a backup. I just was using it as a backup as a place to have more video views, okay? That was it. But yeah, I'm just not real keen on it if that's the kind of I mean, I always knew, but the funny thing is the people who make it, they didn't even make that site for people like that. It's just a video sharing site. And I don't really care what your political affiliation is. I think it can be cool. Like, look, my opinion. You can have any political view you want under the sun. I do not care. But I'm just not a fan of hate, and I'm not a fan of extremism of any kind. And yeah, if you start saying really hateful things, you're just like those mullahs that are trying to carry women away in the streets of Tehran. Like, you and the mullah dude have more in common. I mean, that's just my feelings on it. I'm not a fan. Don't push your views on me, you know? And I've tried to be less political because I just think American politics are just a little too excessive. And the reason being is because of what's going on in Iran right now. I feel like, you know, Americans were just talking about their election. Like, you even on TikTok, okay, you would see a video about the Iranian protest, and there would be like this little box like, oh, U.S. elections, and that has nothing to do with the U.S. elections because the U.S. has cut all diplomatic ties with Iran because of, you know, what happened with the hostages. But today's generation didn't have anything to do with that. It was, and I just think the young people today, they deserve to have freedom, but I think a lot of people still hate Iranian people because of that. But yet we kind of did the same things where we meddled in there, like we overthrew some of their leaders. So it's a complicated thing. I love history, but I'm not a real big fan of like divisive politics. I'm just not. In other news, this should be a fun, like vegan type of little thing. Very good. Very good. I'm excited. I want to live my own life. Do you want to live your own life, or do you want somebody telling you how you should live your life? Like, if you want somebody to tell you how you should live your life, then yeah, maybe that's great. Maybe, just maybe, you would love having somebody come and make comments like that. But honestly, it's just weird. It's kind of laughable and sad and weird, but I think I'm done with the first one. I'm going to just make the rest of the potatoes into something or other. But this first one, kind of almond milk, because it needs some milk on it. I mean, this is a watered down one, but I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that's good. I added a little more. It'll be fun. Anyhow, there's time for you to go in the oven, mister. And we'll wish you well in the oven. I'm going to go open the window. So yeah, let me get another cooking dish. The rest of the potatoes are kind of just going to be a regular potato type thing. That one is kind of like a play on the vegan potatoes, scallop potatoes, but I didn't go to the store and buy pepper, and I think there was another thing I needed. However, I just decided to wing it and kind of do it my own way. So I need some oil to put in the bottom of the pan. A little Mickey jar. Let's see. I don't think I want to use that one. No, that one's okay, actually. I'm trying to figure out if I want to use it or not. It's a little too much oil. But it'll be fine. And then, just to make sure I don't have any oil on the outside of my container, I might even wipe it off with washcloth. I still have paper towels for emergencies, but I try to keep my paper towels for emergencies, or like when I've guests over, because people don't like to use their hand towels. Like, I don't know. And then, but I kind of do actually use the paper towel to kind of, this time I'm just going to twirl the oil around in the bottom so it doesn't stick, whatnot. And then I'm going to cut the rest of the onion, because this one's going to be like a metally. Get the skin off first. So my whole little rant about politics. Yeah, it's so silly, guys. I'm just like, but yeah, you're just kind of like that old man, I don't know, in a public place who's like subjecting everybody to your viewpoints. Like, sometimes, and most people are just going to be afraid to say anything. Most people are just going to be polite, and they're just not going to say anything to you. They're just going to be like, okay. And they'll just nod. But everybody's going to feel really awkward. And then when you leave, they're going to be like, oh my God, I thought he would never leave. And if that's the legacy that you want for your life, like whether it be in, I don't know, chat comments or public spaces, then yeah, I guess go for it. Like, but that's just not, most people don't really want to hear that. And also too, like, I just want to stand in for people that don't want to, like, not everybody wants to talk about political issues, no matter what side of the spectrum it's on. Or if we do want to talk about political issues, maybe we want to talk about something that's a little bit more important, like what's happening in Iran, not our same old election cycle garbage. But anyhow, that's all I had to say about that. I mean, it's just so old though at this point. Like, who has not? And I sometimes think, like, when it's a comment like that, is it even a person? Hey, how you doing? Is it even a person making those comments, or is it like a bot or something? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, is it like a computer program? Because some of them seem kind of automated. I'm just like, maybe it's a computer program that's like, it looks for words that say dress. And then it's like, oh, we need to leave all of our political commentary on any video about a dress. You know, anyways. It's quite a thing. It's not my thing, though. It's not my thing. I think onions really hurts your eyes sometimes, you know? I'm doing good. How are you? See how you're looking potatoes. I'm imagining they'll have to cook for at least an hour. So yes, I'm making a second potato dish because the first one's kind of like it's kind of like gonna be like scalloped potatoes, but I didn't go and buy the pepper and some else that you need for like the veganized scalloped potatoes. So I'm just going with what I have. And whatnot. Ew, it sticks. I love onions and potatoes and garlic. It's like my favorite. But I've never liked the sticky residue of an onion when it's raw, but I love the taste. Like, and also there's another thing with a raw potato that I love to do that's so much my favorite. I'll have to rinse off my hands before I show you guys again. Just like one of my favorite things. I want to be like a potato. I want to be rolling in potatoes. Okay. Rinse off my dirty hands. And I have to show you the favorite thing that I love to do with potatoes. It's like, have I got any new long skirts? Like, well, I wore like a longish skirt in some of my recent videos. Like, if you look, like at some of the videos I've posted, but since like you ask, like I will try to make more skirt content. Like, I haven't bought a brand new longer skirt recently, but I have like some longer dresses and skirts that I did buy a little bit more recently. Maybe I'll try and make some content wearing one because I do love fashion too. Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, I need to show you what I love to do with a potato. And a lot of people are like, you cannot do that with a potato. You're not supposed to do it. Like they get very upset or like, I'll show you maybe this is the controversial thing that I like to do. First, I'm gonna eat some applesauce. Kirkland squeezy applesauce. Okay, so first I'll rinse off my potato, and I want it to be one of the middle pieces of the potato. So I'm trying to. These I think I'm gonna dice though after I do this. So you get a middle piece of the potato, and then salt. I think I got too much salt. It just came spread. It came spreading out. A salted raw potato. I love it. This was something my mom used to give to me as a treat. Me and my sisters when we were little, and she was making a potato dish, and that was something her mom did. And I know they say you're not supposed to eat raw potato. And look, I'm not telling you that you should eat a raw potato, but this is a thing. There are people that love like just a raw potato with some salt on it. It's really good. Like, there's just something about it. It's just so like. This is how much I like it. I'm gonna need a second slice doing that. There's still some salt on the cutting board, so I'll just kind of rub it on there. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm going to keep an eye on my cooking potatoes as I'm cutting up these last three for this dish. Like this. I think I have a tomato too that I'm going to incorporate into this one because this is just going to kind of be random things that I have around the house one. And I'm going to cut the potato, like I'm cutting everything really small. Well, that piece I want even smaller for this next one, just because that's what I want to do. I love, right now, my favorite one is like this, kind of metallic gray, but it almost looks black skirt that I bought at Target back in December of 2020. That's my favorite, like super long skirt right now. I don't have like a lot of super long skirts, but you know what? I have a dress. Okay. Also, too, my favorite like long dress is like this floral. And if you look at my channel, you'll see that I've worn it. It's like this floral strapped type dress that just has like a sweetheart bodice to it. It's just really beautiful and it's floral, but I always wear a top underneath it because I don't think like unless it was like I just don't like, I just prefer to like layer things. And I know some people are like, well, how do you layer things? I'm like, well, it just makes me more comfortable when you layer things sometimes. I don't need a chopping machine. I know how to chop. I'm actually really good at cutting because I love to cut things into very minute little pieces. Like years ago, I'm like, oh, I should get a kitchen gadget where I can do that. But then I realized I love to chop and I'm good at chopping. So why would I need to invest in that? And a lot of kitchen gadgets end up being disappointing and break. This is true. Because how long does a blender last? Like this blender's been doing pretty good. But guess what? I had to throw away one of the blender blades to my other I have a couple of different jars. I had to throw one of them away because it was getting rusty on the bottom. So I almost might have to buy new blenders soon. Just because the parts that come with it shouldn't be rusty, but it's getting rust. And I'm like, I don't think that's a healthy thing. So anyhow, I'm just gonna cut up this potato like as finely chopped as possible. Because I kind of want everything not. Back in the day, I would even do it more finely chopped. Like that's how finely chopped I used to do everything. See, one piece is a little longer. I want that smaller. Okay, so kind of scoop it up. Stick that in there. I have to take a peeky peek at the other potatoes and see how they do. Did the oven turn on? Oh, I can just leave the light on and look at it through the window. You silly Julie. Okay. I honestly haven't used my oven in a while. I've been using the microwave more just because, I don't know. I had to clean out my oven anyway. That's part of why I didn't use it for a while. I've just been doing more like hummus and things like that, or the vegan mock meat, which some people are very triggered by. If you don't eat meat, you should eat vegan. You shouldn't eat vegan mock meats. Well, guess what? Have you heard of falafel? The oldest Middle Eastern dish, falafel. It looks like a burger. And it was probably a burger before Westerners ate burgers. So that's why I just think it's so funny when people, they get so mad about something. They're like, everybody needs to do something this way because this is the way it is. But it's not always the way it's been. Like, look, you can live any kind of life you want. Like, I just don't have time, like, for me. Like, please, like, I don't have time to, like, hate people for how they live their lives. And it doesn't bother me. And if it makes them happy, why should I care? Because I also think being kind is the most important thing. Okay? Being kind, even if you don't like something that somebody's doing, you don't have to comment on it. Has anybody ever heard about staying in your own lane? And this is something I just really try to do in my own life. Like, I feel like if it doesn't have anything to do with me, it's none of my business. It really isn't, It's really none of my business if it has something to do with me. So, yeah, this is how I chop this kind of potato too. Like this little red potato. Little red potato. I try to dice it as much as possible. I like it when it stays in its like you can go lengthwise one way. And then you can come back across and go lengthwise the other way. Like that, see? It's a lot of fun. But then I want it even smaller sometimes, like for this dish. So I'll do it again. And then I'll go through and I'll do it again. And you really don't need like a chopping machine. You can do it yourself. Sometimes I think it's the knife. This knife's okay, but it's time for me to get an even better knife. That's kind of been my feeling, my philosophy. The only thing is, the better the knife, you need to be a little bit more careful because it can be quite sharp. Just PSA. So maybe, like, if you're afraid of knives, like, maybe a food processor that, like, chops the food really finely for you is more worth it, your investment. I just honestly, no. I even have one of these things that's supposed to, like, you're supposed to put it down over the potato and it's supposed to cut it the way you want. And it's kind of weird. I have one because it doesn't really work. And it's like more force. It's more brute force to try and force the potato to do that. I should see if I still have that thing. Do I still have that thing? I think I might have it somewhere down there. Where are you, thing? You weird cutting potato tool. I might have thrown it out. I don't know if I still have it. I'm going to throw away some parts of the soda stream too, because I'm getting rid of my soda stream. I just haven't gotten around to disposing of it. Like, I need to recycle it. I can't really throw that away, actually. That's one thing I can't throw away. I'm going to have to recycle that. The soda stream was the biggest disappointment. It seems fun, and it's a waste of money. And I even tried it again recently. I'm like, no. Functionally, it might look nice. Oh, I'm doing good, thank you. It might look nice, but yeah, it's not. I don't have that potato cutting tool anymore. I think I got rid of that, actually. But it was this weird tool, like, where you would just put this object, like this cutter, over the potato and was supposed to cut it in pieces, and it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't work the way that it promises, It's one of those cutting gadgets, and I'm like, no, you just need a better knife. Unless you want to buy the food processor that's going to cut all the vegetables really, like, finely for you, then yeah, go buy it. I don't know. When I take the time to cook, I actually don't mind spending time in the kitchen. My favorite dish, like my favorite thing that I love to make, hummus. Like, I haven't made it for a while. I even have some tahini. Like, I just need to be cooking more. Like, I kind of got in this rut. Like, sometimes when you work a lot, then I'm doing other things. Like, I'll make smoothies, but I haven't been cooking as much as I should be, And yeah, I feel like because I can chew better again, like, I'm wanting to cook more. But potatoes are kind of soft. So I love, like, potato dishes and hummus. Like, those are my two favorite things. I'm just kind of liking those things and other vegetable bakes. And I love beets. Like, when I made them, like baked beets, I like that. That's not exactly my favorite, but I do like it. Falafel. But yeah, I really love potatoes. Like, a lot. Falafel is fun to make too. I'm going to get all those little guys off. I don't want to waste any of the potato. Since I went to the trouble to cut it, I'm going to use it all. It's a process of, like, trying to gather it up off the cutting board. Let's cut another potato. Alrighty, Ruse. So I try to do the system where I just slice down the top. And this kind of gets it started. Sometimes you have to put it back into the slice. Like, you slice down the top like that, okay? And then you go this way. And it kind of makes it smaller. But you still have to make it, if you want it even smaller, you still have to go over it a second time. Because I like it even, like, when I'm cutting really small potatoes, like for this dish, I like it really small. I want it really, really small. I might get a second Pyrex dish and kind of distribute them. I'm just kind of wanting to gather up all the potatoes right now. I don't want potatoes to go flying, so I have to kind of control it to some degree. When I cook, I don't rush. I just take my time. That's why I always say hair and cooking, they're not fast ventures for me because I like to take my time on it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in a way that makes me feel good. Like, I'm not going to rush, you know? And if you see pieces that are bigger than what you want, you can just kind of go back over the whole, and you can just kind of go at it for a few minutes. Like you can keep making it smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I think I'm going to kind of distribute it between another Pyrex dish, but I just need to gather it up right now. My eyes water as I'm cutting the onion, but then afterwards I'm okay. Now, my younger sister who used to live with me, she was the opposite. Like cutting the onion never bothered her, but whenever, because I used to cook with a lot of onions, and I believe that onions are good for hair growth. Like they always say, well, you could do something putting onions on your hair, but I'm like, well, what about eating? Like, I mean, my hair still really grows mega fast, but I think it grows even more when I'm eating onions. Like, there's just, onions are just so good for you and have so many healing properties. I know like some people, they don't like onions. They don't agree with me. But my other sister would say that after I cut up the onion, and once something with the onion was baking, that's when it would start bothering her eyes. But to me, I just need to get through like cutting up the onion. And I definitely need to like blow my nose sometimes afterwards, like for sure. That I definitely need to do. Oh, my potato dish is looking really yummy. Okay. That's actually a good way to get it off the... I just discovered that. You turn the knife upside down and tap and everything falls off. But it's sticking more just because I do rinse off my things and I don't really dry them right away. Like some people, you have to dry everything right away. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm not making french fries. I'm not trying to draw the starch out of them to make them the crispiest fry ever. I do, once I start doing potatoes like my old school way, you cut them very small, and I enjoy it like that. I mean, I don't mind potatoes in big pieces, but it just makes me happy, like to see like really small cut pieces of vegetables. Like it's very therapeutic to me. I really love to chop veggies. Like I always say, oh my gosh, I don't have time to chop veggies, but I didn't want to make a new goal where I was going to be chopping veggies more often and cooking more again. Adding some Oatly to my coffee. Just kind of. And I found out from some guy that works at Starbucks, he said Oatly's the oat milk that they use in the Starbucks coffee drinks. And I really do like Oatly because it's kind of creamy, although it's a little bit more expensive than the other milk, non-dairy milks, you know. But it's really good. I save like wanting to get a sweet coffee until like if I'm working, then I'll go to Starbucks because lately I'm like, well, you know what? I'm trying to eat out less, so if I go get a Starbucks, that's okay. Like one of my guilty pleasures is I love to get a peppermint mocha and a plain bagel at Starbucks. I mean, I could make that at home, but sometimes, like, if I'm working, it's fun. But I am trying to get back to just, like, cooking more, just, like, cooking. So I really do love to cook. It's just, like, for me, if I'm going to cook, I want to spend my time doing it. I like to make fun, have fun, not make fun, have fun doing it. So I don't like to rush. I was actually really surprised that my mom made vegan potatoes because this is the thing. She's vegetarian. Like, she's been well, I guess because they eat almond milk, but I was assuming they might have put butter in it. But they still eat butter and cheese. I don't. Like, honestly, how long does it take to make the dish? If I was, well, the first one is in the oven already, so that took me about, I don't know, like 25 minutes maybe. Like, if I wasn't chatting and just taking my time, I'd probably go faster. But as you can see, I kind of just like to take my time. Like, this is how I would cook, like, back when I used to have, like, a sibling living with me. I'd be telling them stories and they'd be like, oh, and it's like, or like with my family. But my mom does cook very fast. Like, she's into more fast meal prep, although she would do a lot. Like, she would do a lot of dishes and fast. And I'm like, just like, I can't do that. Like, she's really good though. She's been cooking since she was like a little kid. Like, that was just how things were back then. You made everything from scratch, like everything. There was nothing store bought. You didn't have store bought treats. Like, actually, it was considered like a treat to have a store bought treat. Like, you just made everything. You made your main dish, side dish, like every single piece of food that you ate on your plate was something that you made from scratch. So my mom just knows how to do that. When did I start cooking? I've kind of been cooking all my life too, in a way, because when I was really little, my mom would have us get involved in making the cake, and like, because she's vegetarian and I'm vegan, like cracking the egg into the cake batter, like mixing it. Like, I knew how to use like the rotary blender like when I was 5. Like, she taught me how to do that, like to do it counterclockwise, clockwise, make it all combine. I make vegan cakes now. But yeah, like from a young age, like I did a lot of cooking things. I started making bread, funnel cakes on my own, like when I was 13. Actually, a funny thing was I took a home economics class and our teacher taught us how to make funnel cakes, and I was just making them for fun. And my mom's like, you make funnel cakes every day after school, and then you don't leave any of it for us to try, which was true. Like, I did eat a lot of it with my sister. So I've cooked like all my life, honestly. Yeah, I've always cooked. It's just I have been cooking less, and I don't know what happened. It just kind of got into this rut where I wasn't cooking as much. But it's better when you do cook. It is. Or just food prep. It's better. It's healthier. It always is, you know. How long is my hair? See? That's how long my hair is. Right there. Alrighties. Let's rinse this guy off. Oh, I want it back. Oh, you're getting it back. And I put the whole bell pepper in. I don't like exclude the seeds like some people. Well, maybe a little bit of it, but I don't care if some of the seeds get in there. Some people don't like that. But I just like my whole vegetable. I'll eat the whole thing, you know. They have a tomato too. I'm gonna get another Pyrex so I can kind of distribute them and bake them separately, so they can bake. Okay. Well, this one I might take out because this one's really pithy. That one I might take out, but I don't mind if some of the pithiness is in there. I eat the whole thing. Like, I just don't like to waste my vegetable. I paid for him. I'm not gonna waste it. Alrighty, Brew. I need to go get my other Pyrex. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. I love raw bell pepper. Okay, so I have 2 other Pyrex dishes. I think I'm going to put some oil. Where did I put my oil thing? Keep hiding him away. I don't have to get him back out again. It really does make a lot of potatoes when you cut the potatoes up. I kind of forget sometimes how much it makes. A little bit of oil in each one of them. In the bottom for you, sir. So, we'll kind of distribute the oil all around. This one. And that one. Okay, I'm just kind of letting the oil distribute around. All right, bell pepper time. It's like hammer time, but it's bell pepper time. Do 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 do. Can't touch this, but yes, you can. You can touch it. I'm just being like MC Hammer. Speaking of MC Hammer, I heard he was like nice, but he was just like too nice. Like he helped everybody out, like all his friends and family, and he's probably amassed an income again, but like all his original earnings, he went completely almost bankrupt, just helping people out. He was just too generous and too nice. Like, and then he became like a minister, so I don't get it. Like, but I don't see him on like TikTok and Twitter, like making comments to people, like these people on the Rumble thing. I'm like, okay. So it's always interesting. It's like these people that aren't famous, and the only thing they really have going on for them is like some sort of conservative viewpoint. And when posting this stuff on Rumble or TikTok or Twitter, I don't know. I don't even care anymore. I mean, yeah, I know liberals do it too, but it was the conservative guys that were doing it today, and it was. I don't even think they're real conservatives. I think they're just real weird. I don't think, yeah. No, I'm wearing like pajama pants. Anyhow, yeah, I just like, please don't include me in your weirdness. I don't want anything to do with it, I really don't. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of salt to each one, like to season it a bit, and some peppers in that one. Finish cutting your pepper. I think I've been eating too much of the raw pepper. No, it's daytime. I'm just wearing pajamas because I didn't go anywhere today. I didn't go anywhere. That's why I'm wearing this. Like if I go somewhere, yeah, I'll get all dressed up, and sometimes around the house I do too. But I don't know. It's been colder. Like I know, like people that live in England probably think it's funny, or Canada, or northern U.S. part of the U.S., but it was pretty hot here in California up until a few weeks ago, so I just haven't really ever adjusted back to the cold weather yet. And so if I don't have to go anywhere, I'm just not wanting to run my heater, so I was wearing like sweatpants and sweaters. Yeah, it's probably really cold there, I'm sure. Well, I'm not a big fan of cold weather, honestly. Like, I grew up in the mountains and I should be used to it, but it's been a long time. Although it does get down to like, sometimes it could get down to 30 Fahrenheit when I'm walking early in the morning. So it can be cold. Just not as cold as places where, like, it doesn't snow in the inland valley. It snows up in the mountains, right? But I stopped living in the mountains like a few years back because I didn't like the mountain life where you had to shovel snow and all that fun stuff, you know? I'm going to distribute more potatoes to each one. Kind of get them all evened out. A little bit more evened out. And then I'll get a spoon and I'll mix everybody a little bit. Get this one. Well, then I feel like probably needs a little bit more back. Okay. And then it starts sticking to your fingers again. That's the fun part. When it sticks to your fingers. You know you did something right if it's sticking to your fingers. Not really. It just feels weird. That in the sink to throw away later. Hi, how you doing? Hi, Starman and Casey. I guess more of us are here. That's cool. No, the skirt is cool. I don't mind you asking me if I wear a skirt because I wear skirts all the time. It's awesome. Like I said, I like the skirt thing. I want to talk to you about it if it bothered me. Like, if it bothered me, I would have said something, but I think I'm going to try and get a little bit out for each one. Like, this one has some. This one has some. This one has some. Maybe just add a little bit of water to get the rest of it out. I'm just trying to use up what I have of the ingredients. I'm sorry if I seemed upset. I wasn't upset. What I was talking about it was about something else. It was about those weird comments that I was finding on that Rumble site. It's weird. I didn't even know that I was going to talk about that as long as I did. I just ended up talking about it longer than I planned. Oh, I have some fresh peppers for my little pepper plant, my little chili pepper plant. Chili pepper, not like chili pepper plant. I'm going to add those in. Each one. Yeah, I'm having fun. It's gonna be a good evening. It's getting later here, although it's 2. Oh, it's 3:20. It is 3:26, so it's a little bit later here now. Not super late, but it's gonna be late by the time I'm done making all this. Okay, let's see. Let's get some more peppers chopped up. think that looks good. I want to start mixing them and putting them in the oven. Rinse my baby fingers off here. I'm still here. Mix everything up one more time so they'll be evenly distributed. It's gonna be fun. Let's do a little bit more salt on each one. And now the other one's in the oven still baking himself down. As you can see, he's in there. He's bubbling away. We're gonna put the other ones up there and they're gonna go on the top shelf. But just to make sure that they don't have anything on them, I'm gonna wipe them off before we put them in. Errant potatoes in. Okay. Third one in. It's good enough. And they go. They're in. Anyway, I'm having fun and I hope you have fun, and maybe I'll come back and show my completed potato dish. Have a good night or a good day or whatever it is where you live. Bye.